This is the GBN Luncheon News for today, Monday, June 22nd, 2026. Coming up in the news, authorities appeal for information on missing teens, and 20th Build Back Better home delivered in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago trade union representative condemns activist arrest on Labor Day. Internationally, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer announces resignation. And in sports, West Indies stay unbeaten with win over Sri Lanka. The first segment comes to you compliments Bryden and Miners. I am Diedra Sealey with the details. Police are seeking the public's assistance in locating 3 missing teenagers. 14-year-old Laurianne Williams was last seen on June 11th. She is slim, dark in complexion, and approximately 5 feet 4 inches tall. 15-year-old Corinne Magu was last seen on June 13th wearing long blue jeans and a blue top. She is dark-skinned, slim-built, and stands at about 6 feet tall. Meanwhile, 14-year-old Gabriella Sylvester was last seen on June 19th wearing blue shorts and a white t-shirt. She stands at 4 feet 6 inches tall and is brown in complexion with a slim build. Anyone who has seen any of the missing teens or has information about their whereabouts is urged to contact the nearest police station or call 911. Also in local news, the government's housing recovery program in Carriacou and Petite Martinique has reached a major milestone with the delivery of its 20th Build Back Better home for 2026. Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Tevin Andrews, recently handed over 2 new hurricane-resilient homes to Leicester residents Ruthlyn Thomas and Eflin Joseph. The latest handovers bring the total number of homes completed and delivered this year to 20, as efforts continue to assist families displaced by Hurricane Beryl. Officials say several additional homes are currently under construction across Carriacou and Petite Martinique, while support is also being provided through the Materials Assistance Program and labor initiatives to help residents repair and rebuild their own properties. At the National Democratic Congress's anniversary rally on Sunday, Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell reflected on the party's journey from political underdog to governing party as it marked 4 years in office.
So they thought we were buried. They thought we were dead. They thought they had their feet on our necks. But just as old Lazarus was risen, so too did the National Democratic Congress rise from the struggle, from the trial, from the tribulation, from the disunity, to become the movement that is celebrating 4 years in office today.
Coinciding with Father's Day, the mega rally brought together party members and supporters in large numbers for speeches and performances. Mitchell paid tribute to several veteran party members, especially former political leader and Prime Minister Tillman Thomas, arguing that public service should be measured by quality rather than longevity.
He's almost 80, but anywhere he goes in Grenada, he is as respected as any politician, statesman could ever be. I know about the other fellow who run the country for 23 years. So you see, sometimes it's not the length of service. It's the quality of the service.
Looking ahead, the Prime Minister announced plans for a nationwide consultation process during July and August to create a manifesto of the people that will shape the NDC's next election manifesto and the country's development priorities for the next 5 years.
So when I tell you you are writing your manifesto, you understand, and I'm saying there will be no change in government for the next 5 years. There will be no change in the party that is going to run this country for the next 5 years. Because you, the people of Grenada, have chosen, you've seen the work over the last 5 years.
The Prime Minister also highlighted several government initiatives undertaken during the NDC's term in office and urged supporters to ensure that they are registered to vote. That concludes our local news. Stay with us for our second segment, Compliments Fortune Foods Limited.
GBN Masology is back. We're officially on the road to spice up the Carnage 3.0, and it all starts here. Live from GBN Studios every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Streaming across GBN platforms, bringing pure energy, culture, and spice man's vibes straight to your screen. Hosted by Charlton, powered by Graphic Sound System, featuring fresh faces and seasoned stars. Masology is what the culture takes center stage. WhatsApp 407-8458 now to secure your spot on Masology. And don't miss the repeat broadcast at 8:30 p.m. This is Masology, the heartbeat of Spice Mass. Don't miss it.
In regional news, we begin in Trinidad and Tobago, where a trade union representative is condemning the arrest of an activist on Labor Day. More details in this OCM report.
The General Secretary of the Umbrella National Trade Union Centre in Trinidad and Tobago, Michael Anisette, is condemning the arrest of an activist during a demonstration at the Labor Day celebrations last Friday. Michael Anisette yesterday called a news conference as General Secretary of the National Trade Union Centre, condemning the arrest of Alyssa Phillip. At a news conference hosted at the Seamen and Waterfront Workers Trade Union on Ryson Road in the capital, Port of Spain, Mr. Anisette described Ms. Phillip's arrest as not a simple matter. He believes there have been constitutional issues in what transpired. Mr. Anisette said NATUC will engage senior counsel in order to discuss it and provide guidance. At the Labor Day march, supporters of Ms. Phillip jeered the police officers who were at the time making the arrest.
For the police service. Great deal out.
There's a bunch of black men doing it.
Oh, you're shameful.
Black men.
Oh, you're shameful.
I cannot imagine it.
You're shameful.
Over the weekend, in a separate joint statement issued by NATUC and the Joint Trade Union Movement, members expressed concern over what they described as excessive armed police presence at this year's Labor Day celebrations. Ms. Phillip and her group joined the celebration as a continuation of their demand for justice for Kia Sealey and her common-law husband, Joshua Samaru. Mr. Samaru was killed and Ms. Sealey wounded during a confrontation with police officers in St. Augustine on January 20th this year. Ms. Sealey was last week arrested and charged with Mr. Samaru's manslaughter. Thousands of students and parents across Barbados will learn the results of the 2026 Barbados Secondary School Entrance Examination today. The Ministry of Education Transformation has announced that the results will be revealed during a media conference scheduled for 9:30 this morning. Minister Chad Blackman will address the nation. The news conference will be streamed live on the ministry's official YouTube platform as students prepare to make the transition from primary to secondary school. In Jamaica now, the St. Catherine South Police say they are following leads into the double murder in the Nago Head area. The deceased are 19-year-old delivery man Michael Elliott and 17-year-old Kenrick Ebanks. Head of the St. Catherine South Police, Senior Superintendent Leighton Gray, says 3 persons were shot in yesterday's incident. He says at around 4:30 a.m., gunmen barged into a house and opened fire, killing the 2 males and wounding a female.
From our information, and they kick off the door to the house, they would have shot and killed a young man, 19-year-old, on the spot, and they moved to go through the house. So they enter another room where a lady was in that room, and they 2 opened fire at her. She managed to run from the house into an adjoining room where her mother was located and locked the door. However, during the process, she received a single gunshot wound. They went to another section of the same house inside another room where a 17-year-old was, and he too was shot and killed on the spot.
According to the commanding officer, criminals will not be allowed to disturb the peace the Nago Head area had been experiencing since January this year.
Our regional segment came to you compliments Fortune Foods Limited. International news and sports are up next. Moving now to international news. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced on Monday that he would resign as the leader of his party and as Prime Minister, setting the stage for the United Kingdom's 7th Prime Minister within a decade. Starmer, who said he spoke on Monday with King Charles, said he expected to remain in office until a successor was chosen from within his Labour Party. More details in this ABC News report.
I will resign as leader of the Labour Party.
So that's it. Keir Starmer has announced he will leave office, and this country will have its 7th Prime Minister in just 10 years. And that is the brutality of British politics. He's only been in power for 2 years. In that time, he made it clear he was very proud of his track record in office. But really, Keir Starmer, what he did there was cast himself as someone who got Labour re-elected, electable again after so many years in opposition with an enormous landslide. Clearly very, very proud of that. And he says with good grace, he's decided to hear what the Labour Party is saying, and they want him to leave. What next? Well, he remains Prime Minister today, and he will be Prime Minister for the next few weeks, because by Labour Party rules, there will now be a contest within the party, which he said is going to be in July. All eyes will be on Andy Burnham, the Labour MP. Now this afternoon he will be sworn in as the new Labour MP for Makersfield, and a lot of suggestion is that he is the most popular of the Labour cohort. His brought himself back into Parliament in order, really, most people realise, to be made Labour leader and Prime Minister, but there will be others who challenge him, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. James Longman, ABC News at Downing Street.
Also in international news, the US and Iran engaged in a second day of talks on Monday to solidify a permanent end to the war between the countries, after a first day of mediation began with a rocky start. More in this ABC News report.
Iran's foreign minister saying overnight tireless Pakistani and Qatari mediation has delivered major progress on issues including the unfreezing of Iranian assets and ending Israel's attacks on Iranian-based Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon. Renewed Israeli attacks prompted Iran to once again threaten to close the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump then lashing out yesterday, warning Iran, you close it and you won't have a country. You won't even make it back to your expletive country, adding that he would, quote, blow the expletive out of them should the strait be closed. That led to this moment, Iran's delegation appearing to walk out of the Swiss venue where the talks are being held. But overnight came word that the talks continued. The deal seems to hinge partially on Israel and Hezbollah calling off military operations in Lebanon, something they've been unwilling to do despite a ceasefire.
We established a security zone in Lebanon, and we shall keep it as long as is necessary to protect our people.
Meanwhile, gas prices here at home are dropping, down nearly 14 cents per gallon in the last week. Analysts predict that downward trend will continue. In a sign of just how difficult these peace talks may be, Iran's president has said his country will never back down from its right to enrich uranium.
That's it for international news. Sports is up next. West Indies maintained their perfect start to the ICC Women's T20 World Cup with a 5-wicket victory over Sri Lanka in Bristol on Friday. Captain Hayley Matthews led the way with the ball, taking 3 for 15 as Sri Lanka were bowled out for 98. Nilashika Silva top-scored with 30, while Kavisha Delari made 21. In reply, the Windies stumbled to 70 for 5, despite contributions from Matthews and Diedra Doughton. However, veteran Stefanie Taylor anchored the chase with an unbeaten 27, guiding the Caribbean side to 99 for 5 in 16.1 overs. The result moves the Caribbean side level on 6 points with Group 2 leaders England as they continue their push for a place in the knockout stage. Moving now to football, Belgium's hopes of advancing at the FIFA World Cup suffered a setback after a frustrating 0-0 draw with Iran in Los Angeles on Sunday. Despite controlling possession, the Red Devils struggled to break down a disciplined Iranian defense. They were reduced to 10 men in the second half when defender Nathan Ngoy was sent off for bringing down striker Mehdi Taremi. Iran came close to taking the lead, with Taremi having a first-half goal ruled out for offside following a VAR review. The draw leaves Belgium on 2 points after 2 matches and facing the possibility of a second consecutive group stage exit. Iran also remains in contention and will look to secure qualification when they face Egypt in their final group match. All 3 matches played so far in Group G have ended in draws, leaving the group wide open heading into the final round of fixtures. Now for a recap of today's headlines. Authorities appeal for information on missing teens, and 20th Build Back Better home delivered in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Regionally, Trinidad and Tobago Trade Union representative condemns activist arrest on Labour Day. Internationally, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer announces resignation. And in sports, West Indies stay unbeaten with win over Sri Lanka. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Deidre Sealey, thanking you for joining us.